We had little Cowboys helmets growing up. We'd get in the yard and we'd run around and play, on Sunday after church, right before the Cowboy game would come on. And even then, starting to begin to dream of, what it'd be like to do that on a bigger scale. Most guys were 2 or 3 year starters in high school and started a couple years in college and then go into the pros. And my story's a little different. My junior year in high school, I was not the starting quarterback. I only got to play my senior year. I just remember thinking, I'll just make the most of this year. I was drafted by the Cardinals and I hopped right into being a backup quarterback. There's definitely a different stress level when you walk onto the field. Every level you go higher, you get more and more into the business part of it, where these guys are doing it for their livelihood. I spent my 4 years there, and then in free agency, had the opportunity to go to Detroit, was there for a year, and then was traded to Oakland. For me, growing up and watching guys, kind of stay with teams for a long time, John Elway, Dan Marino, and these guys. And so your dream is, I don't want a career like that. Changing and going to Detroit and then only being there a year and then getting traded. And so now you're kind of looking back going, man, this thing is going a lot different than I thought. So my career continued to kind of, change a lot. And so after we left Oakland, we went to Miami. And I was there through the offseason and got traded and to Carolina. We spent a couple years there. And my last year, I was on IR. And so we went through the offseason and the phone didn't ring. And so that was the first time that had happened for us. I had been comfortable, and comfortable things had happened. I'd always had a job. My prayer, my desire was just to be back in the locker room. So I go through that whole off season. Again, the phone doesn't ring. And so I said, you know what? I've got to do something besides just kind of sit on my hands and wait. I need to get out there and serve. I started coaching at the high school level. And man, that was one of the biggest blessings I've ever had. We get beat in the playoffs in the second round, and a week goes by, and Jay Cutler gets hurt with the Bears. And the Bears call me. I found myself, the last 2 games of the season starting at Lambeau Field on Christmas night. That's just what God was hitting me with. It's just like, there are things, there are moments, there are paths that I'm going to cross in your life that are there, they're out there, and you don't even know they're coming. And what are you going to do when you hit them? And are you going to join God in His mission, or are you just going to miss? And are you going to be so consumed with what we got going on that we miss what we can do with Him? Faithful to everything He tells us about Himself. And I think as much as in those situations that we go through in life that we try to paint that God is not being who He said He was going to be, that He's been who He says He's going to be. We get scarred and we get hurt because what we expected did not happen. If I sit, in my quiet moments, I say, I want to please God, my heart is to please God, then there's got to be faith involved, and there's got to be things and elements in my life where I can't see what's coming next. If anything, it's encouraged me to push myself into those moments as much as I can. Maybe I can't see around the corner on this thing, maybe I'm just going to have to trust God, but maybe this is going to be a good thing for me.